My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of 300, and this review will have spoilers, so that's your warning. But when I first watched this movie, I hated it. I thought the movie was boring, I thought it relied too much on slow motion, and I didn't understand why it was so loved. But I just rewatched it for the very first time, and holy shit, was I wrong. No, this movie is actually pretty awesome, and I loved it. A lot. And my favorite aspect of this movie is just how masculine it is. It is the most hyper masculine movie. The way the characters act, the way that they actually kick ass and they believe in honor and just being typical men. I really loved that aspect of the movie. It doesn't look down on the male ego like most movies do. In fact, it kind of looks up to it in admiration. And then the way the characters talk, like the dialogue in this movie is every bit as awesome as the movie thinks it is. My favorite line is, "There'll be so many arrows, it'll blot out the sun." Was then fight in the shade, and how they laugh about that line later. And there's so many great lines, especially when Leonidas is talking to Xerxes. That's a great moment. It's just a really great aspect of this movie. And it leans into it as much as possible. And I do love the story being told about these 300 warriors up against an army of way more, and them just standing their ground the entire time. It's just a really great underdog story where you don't know if they're going to succeed or not, and I thought it was very compelling. I also really like the direction by Zack Snyder. He really brings a unique visual style to this movie. It doesn't look realistic, but it's very stylistically interesting, and I thought the cinematography was great, and the slow motion is perfectly utilized. There is some kick-ass moments, and I loved how brutal the action was. And on top of that, you've also got yourself a really great cast. Gerard Butler gives one of his best performances here. He does everything he needs to perfectly, and he just carries this movie so well. I also loved Lena Headey and how strong of a character she was. And okay, we all know that this is Sparta scene and it deserves to be as iconic as it is. But one thing I love is how before he kicks him down, Leonidas looks to his wife and waits for her approval. It's just a small moment, but it really adds to the characters. Then you've got David Wenham, who I thought was really great. Tom Wisdom, he was really good as well. Dominic West is such a despicable piece of shit in this movie, but he played him very well. Then you've got Michael Fassbender, who I really liked here. And then you've got Rodrigo Santoro as Xerxes, and I think he does a really great job. And I love the design of this character, how he's just covered in these piercings and jewelry. It's just it's overboard in the best possible way, and I do love how exaggerated and weird this movie can get in moments. And on top of all that, you've also got yourself the perfect ending. Leonidas shows that Xerxes can bleed, he doesn't bow down, and his men die fighting. But then that inspires thousands more to take a stand. It is exactly what this movie needed. My only real issue with this movie is that I do think it's like 10 to 15 minutes too long. It does drag every now and again, but aside from that, this movie is awesome. I really enjoyed it. It's incredibly well directed. It's filled with great performances. I love the story being told and how it's a movie about honor and strengths and fighting for what you believe in. I love how masculine this movie is. It's just great. I'm giving 308 out of 10. Okay, have you seen 300? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin out.